I'm Eric.
And I'm Steve.
Commander 2018 spoilers.
Let's talk about it.
Welcome, Planeswalkers, to the Collector Mania YouTube channel and a quick turnaround episode of Let's Talk About It, episode number 40. Today is the 23rd of July, and we've got some spoilers coming down the pipe.
Woo.
So let's break into it. Steve, what do you say? Oh, as normal, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And if you're not subscribed with the bell, hit the bell for us too. Nice. Okay.
Whoa. Whoa.
What do you think, Steve, so far?
Okay, so she's pretty cool. So we've got... I can't even see her.
I was reading it earlier. Aminatou, the Fateshifter.
So she's Esper, legendary planeswalker, I can't say it. +1. Draw a card, then put the card from your hand on top of your library. -1. Exile another target permanent you own, then return to the battlefield under control. So cool blink ability. -6. Choose left or right. Each player gains control of all non-land permanents other than Aminatou, controlled by the next player in the chosen direction. Sorry, this is kind of hard to read.
Yeah, just kind of an image off of a spoiled package image. So, what do you think?
Well, I like everything except for the last ability.
Yeah, drawing a card, and just it's kind of like a mini brainstorm, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost worse than putting it in your graveyard in a lot of ways, because if you're just sitting in between like a land, it's almost like a really weird top.
Yeah.
And I've seen people, that ruin many people's days, so that isn't so great.
Yeah.
But
good for miracles, I guess, if you got a cool miracle to toss on top. But
yeah,
still, there's better ways to do that. And like you said, a graveyard's another place to play from. So
yeah. I think this is, it's almost appropriately powered for the cost. If she wasn't 3-color, it would be appropriately powered. But the fact that she's 3-color, kind of like, oh, we need a little bit more here, guys.
The -1, of course, kind of seems to fit in your alley of things as far as blinking. I think of cards like Obsidat or something, or Venser. Like, there's a lot in these colors, so why not toss that sort of ability on this kind of planeswalker?
Well, and even just like other planeswalkers too. That's probably what I would use it for.
Yeah, just get some extra, reset their loyalty after you take them down 3 or something. That's a very good point, because it is a permanent. I guess you can do a land, right?
Yeah.
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 Swing with a big creature, good ETB effect. Yeah, Planeswalker's a really good idea, actually, Steve. That's perfect.
Yeah, like I said, it all is great until you get to that ultimate, and then it's just kind of like, why is this here?
Yeah, it's really great if you're really, really... odds are, if somebody has a sweeter board state than you, she's not going to get to 6, if you ask me.
No.
And, again, if they're on your left or your right, great. Hopefully the best person is not diagonal of you in a match and not on your left or right.
Yeah, that's odd.
Unless you can ultimate it twice and shift things around, I guess. But
I'm guessing this deck is going to end up doing a lot with curses.
Yeah.
That's kind of my feeling from this right now. It's Zedro-esque in a way. I don't know. We haven't gotten much in the line of actual spoilers from the deck. Pretty much we've got a here and there of everybody, and then the 4 planeswalker commanders, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Just to touch on that for a second too, we did definitely predict that they were going to do planeswalkers, and then they announced it a while ago that they said something about planeswalkers, and here we are for sure confirming it. So that's awesome. I don't know, this kind of brings up that debate again about why aren't all planeswalkers legal as commanders, and I don't think that'll ever happen. I'm still on the side of no, that shouldn't happen, because there definitely are some busted ones, but I guess we'll see. I know a lot of the comments I've been reading on just Reddit and whatnot have all been about they should just allow this or they shouldn't allow this, and I guess I just wanted to give my 2 cents on it.
I think if they do it, it'd have to be another format thing like Brawl, just keep it separate. It's interesting. I think this might give some of those people hope, if they're continuing more Commander Planeswalkers, which is good. The variety of those is cool. But
and I love that they're multicolor too.
Yeah,
we definitely needed that. It's a shame that this artwork kind of gets cut down, because like I said, this is probably my favorite artwork from the entire set, and if you haven't seen the full image, check it out. It is stunning.
Yes, definitely.
I showed my wife the other day, and she was just like, oh my gosh, and she's like, yeah, I know.
Creepy swamp girl.
Yep.
Has a name and some abilities. So on to our next one.
I like that. Yeah.
We have got Estrid the Masked. So we have 1 in Bant, 3 loyalty Estrid, +2 untap each enchanted permanent you control.
Wow.
For -1, create a white aura enchantment token named Mask attached to another target permanent. The token has enchanted permanent or enchant permanent and totem armor. And then for -7, put the top 7 cards of your library into your graveyard. Return all non-aura enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then do the same with your auras. Estrid can be used as your commander. So,
busted. Like, this card is insane.
Which part?
All of it.
Yeah.
Like, I love every part of this.
Yeah.
You know, what's the bestow ability? Like, my gosh.
That's the first thing I thought of, especially for the -7. Like, you know, it's kind of greedy, but it's in doubling season colors and stuff. Like, and not that 7 cards is going to be nutso, but like it's a single open the vaults for you and dump out all your bestow creatures and then suit them up and then go crazy. Like,
totem armor. My gosh.
Yeah. And we kind of talked about that in our last episode, as far as these kind of look like floating armors, totems. That'd be cool to see different colors. And now we get a creature or a planeswalker that makes totems to slap on stuff, which is awesome.
So, just as like a side note, I think this is totally Greg's speed. I think this is perfect for Greg.
Yeah.
If he doesn't end up playing this deck, you know, it's a shame, because this should be him. He's always the one that's putting totem armor on everything, in my opinion.
Yeah. Really good. I think, yeah, boy, just a super cool. You think of decks that kind of do this already, like Bruna or whatever, like, you know, white, blue, green.
Well, in Bant Auras, I mean, it's already a thing, so this is just like reestablishing it with a new commander. Like, I know a lot of people right now have gone more towards like the Voltron with like Rafik and whatnot. I just think this is a different take. This is more of a like wide or like spread out, especially with totem armor. I mean, that just protects everything. And I love that it says enchanted permanents, because we have so many like underused enchant land things. Like, I've been using a few of those that say like make 2 color or 2 mana of any color and like do whatever.
Something, right?
Like, they're actually really good. I know they're fragile, but they're pretty good. Most people will leave them alone because they're just like, oh, it's just a land enchantment. It just makes mana. Blah.
Yeah, and imagine, I mean, you could do a whole mind control deck or something on that and just plus and plus and plus and plus. Like, imagine, you know, man, it's crazy.
I love that they paid attention to doubling season with this card. I mean, they clearly, you know, went down 1 and didn't make the ultimate achievable right away.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. I may have said that earlier. I was under the wrong impression. Math is hard for me, fellas. So, yeah, that's
I didn't
good.
Even remember that you said that.
I did. Honest. Yeah, it's like the first thing I said.
Oh. Really?
Yeah, like, yeah, that's a good point, Steve. Now, I don't know if that'd be crazy, but if it were late game and you just got blown out, you know,
I don't know. It could be nuts. I guess you'd have to have like a mill strategy, but
yeah.
So
it'd be tricky to get. Well, no, +2. It wouldn't be too bad.
No,
definitely a cool card though.
Yeah.
This one's yours.
Saheeli the Gifted. So 2 colors, a blue and a red. Legendary Planeswalker, of course. +1, create a 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature token. +1, the next spell you cast this turn costs 1 colorless less for each artifact you control as you cast it. Extremely powerful. -7, for each artifact you control, create a token that's a copy of it. Those tokens gain haste. Exile those tokens at the beginning of the next end step. So overall, pretty powerful. I think this is perfect for its cost and its loyalty. One of those kind of like, you know, as example with the first one, it's a little underpowered. This one's like right perfect. So what do you think?
Really good. You know, just the fact that, in it, like they always say, evaluate on an empty board. She can make herself safe. She can get the next thing going. Like, you know, if you have a 3-4 drop colorless thing, you know, drop her +1. If you have some artifacts, you can just play your next artifact. Like, and then of course the -7. You know, kind of similar, I guess. It's not like the animating Tezzeret ultimates that we're kind of used to, I'd say, but if you're thinking about like vehicles or something, you know, animated stuff already, like just any sort of good artifact creature.
Well, that's a good point too. I didn't even think about vehicles. Like, that's actually a really cool idea.
You'd still have to make them creatures, but they could swing.
Well, and depending on like what you have as board state before. So I mean, I could definitely see like sitting on this for a little bit and then waiting to play that ability and then putting out Blightsteel Colossus, and then all of a sudden it's just like,
now I'm killing 2 people.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and I'm mainly thinking about the +1. So like, say you have 5 artifacts out, it's your turn 5, you +1, and you have 5 mana on the board. Was Blightsteel 11, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so like 1 more. Blightsteel on turn 5, like just,
yeah.
And of course, you can be faster than that too, but
oh yeah, big time. definitely cool. Yeah, very setup-y, especially with that +1. Like, that to me feels like an ability that should say -1.
Yeah.
Or more. Like, that's really, really good.
That is pretty slick.
And there's no other way to do this card except to feed into, like, the first ability feeds into the second, which eventually feeds into the third, and there's no other down. Like, that's how you're going to do this over and over again. Like,
I just keep thinking of the sequence where you're like, turn 1, Soul Ring, and then the next turn you just play another land, play her, you +1, put in, like, what's the Amber Mox?
Yep.
Mox Amber, and then it's just like all of a sudden you have like mana on top of mana on top of mana.
Yeah, Soul Ring Signet, turn to another land, her, Amber, tap, do her plus, something that costs what, 1, 2, 3 potentially, with a red or a blue.
That's pretty quick.
And an artifact, yeah, she'd be nutso. That's like Magic Christmas land.
Yeah, of course, you know, but
super cool. I'm glad she's kind of gotten a little bit of maybe a comeback. A lot of people were bummed when Felidar Guardian got beat down and she kind of lost her edge in Standard, but you know, if people like her enough.
Yeah, she's cool. I mean, like red blue, like we've been talking about for like the last year at this point about like how they're finally supporting this red blue artifact archetype, and they're really supporting this red blue archetype now, and it's just like, oh, this is awesome. Yeah, what everybody's always been asking for. So they do listen, guys.
Yes. And next we've got Lord Windgrace. Sorry about the off photo again. This is from a product image. Wow. So we have 2 in Jund, 5 loyalty. It's 5, so we can double to 10. So doubling season out of range. We have discard a card, then draw a card. If the land that you discarded this way was a land, draw an additional card. Oh boy.
Here, I'm pulling it up.
You got a better image
right now.
Yeah.
I think this is a little bit. Well, it's got the description next to it too.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you. Return up to 2 target lands from your graveyard to the battlefield for who's -3 and a -11. Destroy up to 6 target non-land permanents. Then create 6 2/2 green cat warrior creatures with Forest Walk. So, people are kind of commenting on this guy being the best, like, general guy. You know, like if you're trying to just fuel your game, you can use him with his plus or his minus, that sort of thing. Discarding and drawing, and if you can selectively discard a land and then later get it back, like that's a pretty decent ability. Again, the ultimate's a little like greedy and kind of blow up some stuff and get some things. Okay.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to what we were saying with the first Planeswalker. You know, that's not necessarily why you're playing it.
No.
These first 2 abilities are way powerful enough on their own.
Yes.
I think this is actually a really fitting card for what they're trying to do as far as the type. I don't know if the character necessarily fits in my mind, just because like story-wise I've heard a few things about Lord Windgrace that this seems a little bit odd on, but I don't know, for some reason I just pictured him being like black, like Abzan instead of red, and that was, I don't know, I think that's my hang up on this card, like story-wise.
Is he evil?
No.
Okay, like Jund seems evil to me.
Yeah, like
from Shards. So
he's like one of the heroes of Dominaria, like way back in the day. I don't know if maybe he's got like a little bit of like an anti-hero kind of like vibe going on, which could be completely. I'm not a lore expert by any means, but let
us know in the comments.
Yeah,
if you know.
Exactly.
We've had a lot of good lore people comment and correct us. So
exactly, which is always appreciated.
Oh yeah, big time.
But anyway, aside from that, like I said, the card itself I think is very powerful. I would agree. I don't know. I'm kind of caught between this and the Bant one. Like the Bant one seems really, really powerful to me. Like it's more specific. Well, I guess these are both pretty specialized, but she seems a little bit more like fragile than him because he's got more of like a Lands Matters thing, which is exactly what they're going for. And Lands Matters is already a really strong archetype.
In green-black and like green period, you know, you think of just cards like Multani and then of course Gitrog and.
Well, I just think of like original Ob Nixilis and stuff like that, and like Tunneling Geopede, and of course you've got Crucible Worlds and the Ramatop Excavator, and there's just so many, like Scape Shift that just got reprinted in Core Set 2019. Like there's just so many cards that go with this. I think they set it up this way perfectly. I think there's no like question in my mind about like, oh, Scape Shift's in the core set before this gets released. Oh, here's why, right? You know, I mean, there's kind of like the same with the Satyr Aura guy, like or enchantment guy, like that just fits right in. I think they're starting to pay a lot more attention to that kind of like string of like, this will fit in somewhere. Wait to see where it is. You know, we'll be saying that about core set 19 for the next, like, I don't know.
Until Ravnica.
Yeah,
like,
until it rotates, you know, like,
yeah.
oh, ho, ho, I
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
Like, Omniscience will go into the Aura check. It's just like, oh my gosh, you guys are so crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the card. +2, amazing. -3, amazing. Ultimate, okay, whatever.
If you get there, sure.
Yeah.
It can help you win the game. Otherwise, you'd probably just keep drawing.
I think the problem we have with it is it's very win more.
Yeah, it is.
It's 100% win more.
Yep.
Like, you shouldn't even need to do that.
No.
But that +2.
Yeah, man. And especially for +2. I'd say that's a +1 if you
Yeah,
ask me.
really. My gosh, guys, come on, really.
Yeah, fantastic ability.
Amazing artwork, though. I
So,
have to say that.
oh yeah, that's great too. So now we're into some more of the newer releases. Again,
Yep.
we'll check at the very end of this to see if there's some new ones since
We
we
may even
started
do
talking.
like a cut, I guess.
Yeah. We have. Did you do the last one? I did the last one.
Yeah, I'll do this one.
Okay.
So I think it's Brudiclad. Telecore engineer. Sounds like somebody from ATT or something.
Hello, this is Telcor Telecom.
So 4 colorless, a blue and a red, legendary artifact creature, Artificer. I honestly think that should be mirror, but what can you do? Creature tokens you control have haste, which is really cool. At the beginning of the combat, on your turn, create a 2/1 blue mirror artifact creature token. Then you may cast, or you may choose a token you control. If you do, exile other each other token you control becomes a copy of that token. Sorry, gosh, couldn't read there for a second. 4/4, so pretty interesting card overall. Like, it's tokens matters artifact commander.
Dude, that's really wacky.
Yeah.
Hello, Wormcoil Engine.
Yeah.
Hello, 2/1 Mer that now becomes a 3/3 lifelinker.
Wow.
Hello, what other greedy tokens are there, Steve?
Well, I mean, I
Gold
guess
tokens.
I'm off on like Mirror Turbine and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Also like Sharding Sphinx and Psy and all those guys.
Well, I mean, say you have a bunch, because you would run as many token generators as you could.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
What one token could you select that all other tokens become?
Well, I mean, like Karn's token.
Yeah. Oh my god. Jeez.
Like that's a pretty good one. That's probably the pinnacle that I can think of is like Karn's token. Wormcoil Engine was a really good example too.
You could do what's the Tuck one that's like a
something. Oh yeah, but he's legendary, so you have to
yeah,
sacrifice all of them.
You could you Helm of the Host something?
Oh god.
And then make a non-legendary version of your commander?
I don't know if it works that way. Would it?
It would make a non-legendary
permanent,
I guess
that
then you
makes
could copy
sense,
it.
yeah.
Dude, imagine that.
Yeah.
Helm of the Host spiking now.
Whoa.
You should get that card anyway. It's like 250. That card's not going anywhere. But
you need to get Karn.
Yeah, Karn. Yeah.
Yeah, I just keep thinking of that one. That's insane.
That is a very good point. Karn is probably, assuming you got a bunch of tokens.
Well, and like some way to give them evasion. Like then they all become 2020s, like out of nowhere, and it's just like, what in the hell?
Eldrazi Monument.
Yeah.
Chroma's Memorial.
Ugh.
Good game. Yeah.
Ugh.
Here's more of that. Is it artifact? Oh my god! Right.
Yeah. Really. I think it's better in the deck personally. That's the way I
Yeah.
look at this one. I don't know if I would ever really run it as a commander. I think it's an interesting choice. I'd like to see how it plays, before I guess really cast judgment on this one. You once again, with like I was saying, like Psy fits perfectly into this build. Amazing, 100%. Like so cool.
I guess it doesn't have to be an artifact token either. That's real good.
Combat at a turn, create a 2/1 blue artifact creature token. Then you may choose a token you control. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, that turns things around a little bit.
Yeah, boy.
I'm gonna turn my entire field into 4/4 dragons, or 4/4 sphinxes, or there's a ton of different examples that you go with this one.
Boy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Definitely a neat one.
It's wacky, which is what I like.
Next we have Tawnos, Urza's Apprentice. So for blue and red, 1/3 human artificer, haste. Blue-red, tap. Copy target activated or triggered ability you control from an artifact source. You may choose new targets. So, like a
bad Kirkesh.
Yeah, or like a Wings of Bridehearth.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. The
activated
cost
or triggered, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
But for an extra tap.
Yeah. The cost is like very appropriate here. Being just 2 is pretty good. 1/3 and haste is also pretty good. So you can do it pretty quickly. Like I said, if I was building a deck like this that like centered around activated abilities. I guess I never even paid attention to the triggered part, but the activated abilities part, I would definitely just build Kirkesh instead of this guy, just because it's doubling all of them. But other than that, I mean, he's pretty cool.
Yeah, and you could do mana, like,
yeah,
he can only do it once unless you can untap him as well, so there's kind of a built-in barrier there.
Yeah,
there's a lot of ways around that.
Yeah.
You know, if you how easy is it to get net 1 mana, like, in all of these combos, like,
yeah.
So he could feed into that if you can untap him.
You know, just because I said it's underwhelming, it's gonna become the most powerful card of the entire thing.
He's pretty cheap, and he can swing, and he's got a butt and an ability, like.
If you guys don't know, I have a really bad habit of being like, this card's terrible, and then the next week it's just like, wow, that's the best card out of the entire set. Good job, Steve.
Get your copies now.
Keep
Steve
your eyes on this one.
Yeah. Could be interesting. A little, doesn't seem as wacky in that it's under our radar, we'll admit.
Yep. Treasure Nabber. Yeah. So 2 colors and a red, Goblin Rogue, 3/2. Whenever an opponent taps an artifact for mana, gain control of that artifact until the end of your next turn. I didn't read the whole thing yet.
Yeah, we just looked at the art and said, wow, that's Soul Ring. And now it's like, oh my god.
It's perfectly fitting. That artwork is amazing for this.
Oh, dude.
And I think that's the Masterpiece version of the Soul Ring too, right?
It looks to me like, because the well, it could be either,
I guess, because it's got a little bit more filigree stuff going on. So
this is
I'm guessing
typical
it's the
Commander
maybe
reprint.
normal one.
Yeah.
Oh, but man, that's pretty funny. That's humorous, actually. It's great.
The law of givesies backsies is respected by every noble pursuer of shiny things.
And of course, this would be a goblin. I mean, my gosh.
So now we need Goblin Trashmaster and Treasure Nabber, and oh my gosh, that's a really awesome card.
It really is. Go ahead.
I was just gonna make a dumb comment. He's a rogue, Cloak and Dagger.
There you go. Perfect.
Dude, yeah, that is a sweet card.
Yeah.
Well done, Wizards.
Get your copies now again?
Yeah. God, oh, man, that is too cool. Next we have Varchild, Betrayal of Keldor. 2 a red for a 3/3 human knight. Whenever Varchild, Betrayer of Keldor, deals combat damage to a player, that player creates that many 1/1 red survivor creature tokens. Survivors your opponents control can't block, and they can't attack you or a planeswalker you control. When Varchild leaves the battlefield, gain control of all survivors.
Oh.
Well.
That's interesting.
This is another one we just grabbed images and then kind of went at. Well,
that's wacky. Huh. I'm guessing this is in the artifact deck since it's making tokens? Would you say so or no?
Yeah, that makes sense. If you've got red survivor tokens with that telecore guy, I forget his name.
Like, that's the only place I could really, like, picture this in my mind, because everywhere else it just doesn't make any sense.
Otherwise, it would be a Jund card.
Yeah, and that makes 0 sense to me. I mean, I guess we'll find out eventually, but I'm calling it now. Artifact deck.
I think you're right. I mean, that'd be a good way to do it. So, geez.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't use it as a commander once again. I think it's just a good creature in the deck, especially since you just want it to die. It's a little...
I mean, not even die. You can blink it.
That's true, yeah.
Like Conjurer's Closet.
It's in the Esper deck.
Yeah. Suit him up, or her up. Is it a woman?
It's a her.
Yeah, suit her up, swing and hit for 5, and then blink, and then... You know, I guess suiting up and blinking doesn't really go together, but unless you're cool with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's kind of wacky.
It's different, and I love that it's different. I don't know if it's quite there yet, but it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you could run it against your buddy who plays Darien.
Oh, God.
You have a Keldor battle at Keldor. I don't know. And a bunch of survivors and soldiers and showdown. It'd be equally
survivors
matched.
Your opponent's control can't block, and they can't attack you or a planeswalker control. So, I mean, I guess that's really cool. I kind of understated that ability the first, like, listening. But that's pretty awesome, actually, because then you can kind of create that, like, attack these two.
Yeah.
You know where I picture this actually going is in, like, Saskia.
I was going to say Saskia, yeah.
That's actually a perfect fit.
Or you could do some of those, like, just run the cool curses.
Yeah.
Curse of, what is it, Opulence?
Yep.
For red.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, hey, go kill that guy. And now you get a whole bunch of stuff. And here's all your survivors to do the next bit of damage to somebody with, like...
But you know what this means now. We really need that Mardu Knight Commander.
Yeah. I
We
saw
just
Knight.
keep getting red support for knights, and we just need red, black, white, and then the tribe will be perfect.
Very curious. Pretty cool card, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, cheap. Yeah, interesting. Steve.
So we've got Coveted Jewel. So 6 cost artifact. When Coveted Jewel enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards. Then you can tap, add 3 mana of any one color. Whenever one or more creatures an opponent controls attacks you and aren't blocked, that player draws 3 cards and gains control of Coveted Jewel. Untap it. Wow.
So my impression, there's a lot of upside, and then you keep reading, and then it kind of goes down.
Yeah.
But if you throw this in a Goblin Welder deck, and you get the ETB, you use the mana, you trash it.
Yep.
Bring it back. Get some draw. Trash it.
You know, that's a really good way to look at that. Because the way I was looking at it is Brago.
Okay, yeah.
Just blinking it that way. But, you know, you leave yourself a little bit open with Brago. I think you're, what are they, you just said it.
The Welder.
The Welder is like a way more efficient way to use this.
Yeah, and you don't leave it on your board to be like, otherwise you just say, please just don't swing at me at all by
just
saying,
don't do it.
Yeah, there's no incentive here.
Yeah.
Duretti? Yeah, Duretti would work. Just any sort of graveyard matter, Shroom even, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Or if it goes around the board, that's kind of cool too.
What's Siege Gang? Or not Siege Gang, the brothers, the 3 brothers.
Shatter Gang brothers.
Shatter Gang, there we go. Like, they could use this as well.
Homeward Path only does creatures, correct?
Correct,
okay.
Yeah.
So you couldn't, unless you animate it. We're onto something here.
That's quite a few hoops there.
Yeah, that's a lot of hoops. Definitely cool. The artwork's fantastic.
And it fits with the commander now that we've seen her, because, I mean, you can blink this by yourself with her. So, I mean, that's kind of cool. And then if your person to your right gains control of it and you get to the ultimate and you can get it back.
Are you assuming this is the Esper?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Very much so.
Oh, I was thinking it was going to be, is it? No?
Like, 2 things jump right out at me.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right.
Like the switching control of things.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's one thing that jumps right out.
But like you said, I guess if you blink it, you could just draw. That's real good.
So, I mean,
interesting.
You're drawing 6 cards, you're netting 6 mana, essentially. Because you play it, you get the 3 mana, you draw the 3 cards, you hold off, you blink it, you get the 3 mana, you draw the 3 cards. I mean, that's a way for it to pay for itself inside that deck. So that's not so bad once you consider that and lose it. It still sucks because you're helping out your opponent a lot, but you
might get them killed too if they've got it.
You've got 6 cards and 6 mana for 6 mana. Like, that's pretty efficient.
That's pretty good, actually. You're right.
So
yeah, that's really neat. And like you said, you can cause some turmoil on the board.
Yeah.
Cool card. Next, we have Geode Golem.
So this is the very first spoiler that came out. It actually came out on Sunday at some point.
I guess it was an Australian spoiler or something. Like 5 for a 5/3 Golem with Trample. Whenever Geode Golem deals combat damage to a player, you may cast your commander from the command zone without paying its mana costs. Still pay additional costs like commander tax, that sort of stuff. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's very generic. Like, it feels like it'd probably be in all of the decks if they could. I mean, I think it'll only be like 2 of them. I think it'll probably be in the Artifact deck, and I think it'll maybe be in the Esper deck. We'll see.
I was going to say high-cost commander decks might be the place for this one.
Yeah. So
looks kind of Jundy, like a Rubble Golem kind of.
Yeah, I guess I could see that too.
So here's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Partners. This guy. Stronic Resonator.
Oh, gosh.
Can you cast both your commanders for free if you get 2 triggers, right?
I would imagine so.
Because I think...
Well, it's not for free, because you still have to pay, like, the commander tax if they've been killed or whatever.
Yeah.
Just, I want to make sure that's clear, because a lot of people were really confused about that when they saw this.
But, like, your commander could be your 2 commanders, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Not obviously all at once, but if you have 2 triggers or do this in 2 subsequent turns, like...
Hey, you just need the artifact, dude.
Which artifact, dude?
The Urza's Apprentice guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah. Dude, sweet. Okay, we need a translation for this one, so go for it, Steve.
Okay, so we've got Infinite Atlas. Literal translation, I like that.
Yeah.
2, Artifact Rare. 2, tap, draw a card, activate this ability only if you control at least 3 lands with the same name. So, monocolor treasure, essentially.
Yeah.
I like drawing cards. I don't know if this is essentially... I mean, paying 2 mana to draw a card is perfectly appropriate. I think there are better cards than this right now, but I definitely can see it fitting into a lot of places. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of mixed on this one.
It's, to me, cards I compare it to, because I like monocolored, like, especially in red, you know, Staff and In, way expensive. Immortal Sun, way expensive. Cards like Scrying Sheets, I like to run, only work with Snow Covered. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Illuminated Folio only works in certain conditions. This one is easy because it says, do you have 3 of one type of basic land?
Yeah.
Very doable. You know, if you do that, you say mountain, turn 2, drop this, turn 3, pay tap, you've got it. Like, from then on, you can have a draw. I don't know.
Pretty reliable.
Yeah, reliable early, which is cool.
Well, and if I think about it too, I'm starting to play Mentor of the Meek in more and more of my decks just because I've started to realize that a lot of my creatures are pretty low power. So, I mean, it's essentially the same, except for you can't draw multiple cards, so that's the only difference there. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. Yeah,
it's interesting. I think I'm happy to see it in a mono. I take that in and say, okay, cool, monocolor build. Like, yep. I like rewarding basic land play too. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Great art. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, another one. That's my bad. We have a Retrofitter Foundry, 1 colorless, lots of abilities. Holy cow! Again, another one we just saw.
Staff of Domination.
Yeah. Pay 3 and tap Retrofitter Foundry. Pay 2 and tap it. Create a 1/1 servo. Pay 1, tap, sacrifice a servo. Create a 1/1 colorless Thopter with flying. Pay or tap, sacrifice a Thopter. Create a 4/4 colorless construct creature token.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So it's like cycling through your tokens and untapping itself, and that's very mechanical. And like, and I bet this is in that Tawnos build.
Oh yeah.
Because you get it twice. Sacrifice a Thopter and get 2 4/4s. Wow, that's really good. Dude, that's pretty rad.
Yeah, what's the card that makes goats? Is this
oh god, Trading Post?
Yes, this is like the perfect pair for Trading Post, because it's just like, let's do wacky stuff on this side. Now let's do wacky stuff on this side.
Yeah. Like I said, Staff of Domination.
Yep.
Give me all those activated abilities, please.
Well, and I kind of like those. I know it's kind of crazy because I don't do a whole lot of infinite mana combos myself, but like I like those cards that essentially win you the game with like infinite mana on their own. Like just this card will do it.
Yeah.
Cause it won't win you it right away, but like you'll at least have like a million 4/4s. That's gonna get you to win the game if you can give them haste or if you just make it a turn.
This seems like a Mad Tinkerer type card.
Yep.
And I can see a Mad Tinkerer like play this card, and they're just like, hey, this, and tap and tap and this.
You guys have no idea what's coming for you.
Yeah. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's like the evil genius essentially card. Yeah.
Gosh, that's cool.
We just need to build a deck that's just focused around all of these abilities.
Like take the longest turn you can without. I guess it would be infinite combos. Like, dude, that'd be insane.
Or just infinite combos that go nowhere.
Yeah. Okay, I got a whole bunch. Well, your tokens would have haste if you use Tawnos. So.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Dude, that's pretty rad. Super cool card.
Okay. So now we've got Echo Storm. So 3 colors, 2 blue sorcery. Whenever you cast this spell, copy it for each time you... Oh gosh. Each time you've cast your commander from the command zone in this game. You may choose new targets for the copies. Create a token that's a copy of target artifact. So... very interesting, very cool. Actually, I like this card a lot, especially after the first read here. Like, it's another one of those like thinking of like that cheap commander. You cast him once, cast him twice. You know, now this spell is effectively doubling what it does.
Right.
You're creating 2. Once again, going back to like the Blightsteel comparison, you've got 2 Blightsteels. You're probably gonna kill 2 people. Blah blah blah. Or actually, all 3 at that point, because you probably already killed 1 person. But you know what I mean, kind of thing.
Kind of interesting. Like you said, I immediately thought of what's the cheapest card I could play for blue or red or something. I mean, if you're playing the Tawnos guy, he's a 1 and a blue, so, or red and blue. So, kind of curious.
See, Tawnos is already becoming way better than we thought he was.
Yeah.
Well, I thought he was.
And like, you know, even if it's something mundane, getting a bunch of soul rings isn't so bad. Like, not great, but like you said, you want a creature, a Wormcoil Engine, or you know, something bulletproof. You know, a sword. Yeah, dude. Pretty wacky. Definitely cool. We have our one of our lands. I think we have Forge of Heroes. Tap and add a colorless. Tap, choose target commander that enter the battlefield this turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on it. If it's a creature and a loyalty counter if it's a planeswalker.
Wow. That's pretty slick.
Dude.
Hello, Duretti.
Hello, you can do this with opponent's creatures if you need to. Dude.
You know me, I'm not very helpful to anybody.
Duretti, I'm thinking Ben.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Groon.
Ooh.
Halar. Like, adding... Dude.
Yeah, this is a really cool card.
That's really sweet. And definitely as planeswalkers, too.
Yeah, that's what pushes it over the edge, really. Like, it's a creature... loyalty if it's planeswalker. Wow, that's
it's like Orin Reef the Vastwood for your commander, like, or your planeswalker commander.
Yeah. Wow. The artwork's interesting too.
Yeah.
I'm curious as to what's going on there.
Yeah.
Looks like some rando dragon like lighting a flame.
Is it a dragon? Oh yeah, it is. I thought it was like a basilica.
Yeah.
Dude, freaking weird.
Yeah, really weird. I don't know if the artwork quite fits, but
he's forging a hero, Steve.
So he's making a hero?
He's breathing fire on a anvil to make your commander.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll go with it.
We'll wait till Commander Magic 2018 or 2020 like Masters, and we'll get foils of this.
It'll be cool.
Yeah. So we might break here.
Yep.
We'll explain ourselves.
Yeah, that's okay. That's a good idea. So yeah,
Sorry,
we're gonna. Well, we might as well talk about this right now because it's already up anyway. So this is the new D&D book that's coming out.
Yeah.
And you know way more about it than I do.
The kind of a brief article. If you remember from like episode 13, that hellish episode at your house where nothing was working.
Yeah.
D&D and Magic, of course, are owned by Wizards of the Coast, and we've done an episode on Ixalan in D&D. So they had all these creatures, and they said, here's how you run all these crazy dinosaurs in D&D with a Magic twist. So they've spoiled, I think Amazon put this up on their site for essentially a like source book for Ravnica. So imagine playing D&D in Ravnica, which would be pretty sweet. So probably more to come. I imagine this will be quite a ways away, August or October, excuse me. But yeah, kind of some interesting news there. So with that, we're going to do a quick spoiler check, and then we will maybe add a little bit more to this video or film another one, so stay tuned.
Either that or we'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah.
We've kind of like chatted about that a little bit as well. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything else up right now, so okay. I think we're done for today. I think, maybe we misthought, because what I'm thinking now is obviously they're going to be giving in a lot of these spoilers to content creators. So they'll probably trickle out throughout like the next week. So okay. It's going to be a little meh, but
yeah. Well, thanks guys as normal.
Yeah, of course.
Hope to catch you guys for maybe episode number 40.1 or something tomorrow. That. So
see you later.
See you then.